Hi everybody, and welcome to another edition of First Person, our weekly video production of PressProsMagazine.com, sponsored by the Buckeye Insurance Company in Piqua and the Coverman Dickerson Agency representing Buckeye in Troy, Piqua, Covington, and St. Paris. Our guest tonight has nothing to do with football, and as you can see, it's opening night of football in Minster, Ohio, where the Wildcats play Fort Loramie tonight. But our guest is the head baseball coach, and I might say now the reigning Division IV champion coach of the Minster Wildcats, Mike Wiss. Congratulations on that milestone for you back in June. Doesn't seem like very long, but I know you've been savoring the days.
It's still quite the feeling. You still run into people at different times on the street, and they make a comment and pat you on the back and say congratulations, and you still can bring back the memories.
You know, at the time of that win, Mike, I wrote a column that day, that night, from the perspective of your colleague Bill Sperwell down the road here. I know he made a statement in that story where he said, trust me, it's going to take Mike Wiss a while to really appreciate the fact of being a state champion. You know, today it's a busy day, it's a busy weekend, it's a happy time, and he said it's going to take him some time to really appreciate being a state champion. Is that true?
That's very true, very true. You don't get opportunities like that very often, and you want to savor them, but it's got to kick in first.
I was there when Bill won his titles in 07 and 10, and there was one thing that struck me that was very familiar with your win over Springfield, and I don't mean Springfield in Clark County, I mean the one up in northeastern Ohio, and that was it seemed like a win that came easy. You won't agree with that, but it seemed like it was almost ordained to happen. They come out, walk 5 in the first inning, you get a couple runs, your guy comes out, throws strikes, and you guys are cruising right along. It seemed like things really fell in place for you.
They did. I honestly, if I can go back to something like the regional final when we played Lehman, we were up by 1 going into the last. Lehman scores 4, we're deflated, and we come back and score 4.
Right.
That's just not how you draw up the game. You don't draw it up that way. We got to we had a lucky inning, I guess. Need a little bit of luck against New York Catholic. We got through that one, and when he got to the final game, the stars kind of aligned, and you got a great feeling from it.
One of the things that I always notice being an old baseball player, you have an instinct for the game and you have an instinct for how the kids feel, the confidence in the way they play it. I could tell your kids, once they got into that Newark game, really realized it sunk in. You know, this is real. We are here and on the threshold of being state champions, and they played that way.
Well, to play on that field, that surface, again, one of the 2006 or 7, one of the best fields in the country. The kids bought into that, and we had a scouting report meeting the night before. We had a scouting report meeting the night before we played Springfield. And, you know, I told the coaches when we got together afterwards, the kids aren't nervous. The kids are here to accomplish a goal. And that was a little bit different than some of the other teams that I've had, maybe to regionals and such. I just got that feeling of they're a very confident bunch.
Mike Wiss, the head baseball coach of the Minster Wildcats, our first person guest this week. We're going to take a break for Coverman Dickerson and come back and ask Mike some more questions about that championship they won a couple of months ago in June, and we'll be right back after these words from the Coverman Dickerson Agency in Troy, Piqua, Covington, and St. Paris.
The Coverman Dickerson Agency, with offices in Troy, Piqua, and Covington, is pleased to be the sponsoring Buckeye Insurance Group agent for this first-person interview. For farm, auto, and homeowner insurance, Coverman Dickerson is one of the area's fastest-growing Buckeye providers, with a history of service and competitive rates. And we're also an outstanding source of coverage for families with young drivers. For farm, auto, and home policies, call the Coverman Dickerson Agency, proud to represent Buckeye Insurance Group.
Welcome back, everybody. Again, it's opening night for the football season in Minster, but our guest is the head the baseball coach of the Wildcats, Mike Wiss, the pride of the University of Dayton, I might say. Yes. I bring you good tidings from Mark Schlemmer.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. He's a good man.
I want to talk a little bit about the fact of so much respect given to baseball in this part of Ohio. You go to the state tournament now, and you know you beat a team over there in Newark Catholic who's won that thing 6 times, and their coach is a good friend of mine, and he flat says, you know, it's not a good omen when you get to the state tournament and you have to play somebody from the MAC or from the Shelby County League or one of those states. He says, you know, that's the best baseball, small schools baseball in the state. Your comments?
Well, we think of that here, but when you hear it from someone else on the other side of Ohio, and I'm going to give you an example here. We went to the state meeting the day before the tournament started, or earlier that week. All the coaches and ADs talk about how the tournament's going to run and their hotels and such. And I did not know who the Newark Catholic coach was. I knew Mr. Cannizzaro, the name from the previous year in '03. And we're at the meeting, and a gentleman comes up from behind me and taps me on the shoulder, and I stood up and shook his hand. And he said, "Coach Wiss?" And I said, "Yes." And I said, and he didn't have any Newark Catholic garb on, a hat, shirt, anything. And I said, "Could I ask your name?" He said, "John Cannizzaro, but you don't have to tell me anything about you because I know exactly where you're from." He knew all about us. I don't look into that too much, but when you have a league like this, an area like this from Shelby County, Mercer County, this is good stuff.
Yeah, trust me, once upon a time, John Cannizzaro was coming into Ohio State as I was leaving, so that's how I got to know John. I want you to speak candidly, if you want, Mike, on the fact that so many people today look at high school sports as being something that, frankly, it may be more expense, it may be more trouble, it may be more of a draw on the community than its actual value. But I know, having won that state title, that did something to your kids that they'll never lose in life. That has made them different men going forward in life. And I don't think enough people realize the attributes of sports, whether you win a title or not, as those kids lead and go out into life.
Right. That group of seniors, we've said several times, they went to regionals in football, regionals in basketball, they made it to regionals and into state in baseball. There's a lot of pride in this group and in this town, as evidenced by the amount of fans that were at our game. It seemed like the last one out of town, turn out the lights kind of a deal. But I can tell you, one thing that I will never forget about the weekend was 3 hours before they gave us our state championship trophy, they honored Lakota East as the Division I state champion. And the commissioner stood up and shook the coach's hand and said, "Lakota East, you have just won your first state championship in any sport." And that's pretty cool. I think I want to do this, is what I'm thinking in my mind. 3 hours later, the commissioner shook my hand and said, "Minster, this is your 26th state championship."
All students should report to the west end of the
That's a
field.
compliment to the town,
Balloons will be passed out from balloon launch. All students to the west end of the field.
As a young man that grew up here, taught here, played here, and now opportunity to coach here, it gives you shivers right now. That's a lot of pride.
Good story says you're state champion for life. State champion for life. Mike Wiss, the head baseball coach of the Minster Wildcats, our guest this week on First Person. Again, brought to you by Buckeye Insurance Group in Troy, Pickla, Covington, and St. Clair. For Coach Wiss and the sponsors, join us again next week for another edition of First Person here on PressProsMagazine.com.
If you are looking for quality insurance protection from a reliable company, sold by professionals in communities like yours, that's what you'll get from Buckeye Insurance Group.
Buckeye Insurance Group, insuring the heartland.
To find your local Buckeye agent, visit buckeye-ins.com. Buckeye Insurance Group, insuring the heartland.
Insuring the heartland.